Hey guys, this is my reflection on my teaching unit. My teaching unit focused on grants fighting strategies and rise to power during the Civil War. Let me just start off by answering this first question. Did the task in my lesson yield appropriate evidence of the identified understandings of Grant's strategies of fighting and his achievements? I believe the task in my lesson yielded appropriate understanding of Grant's strategies of fighting and achievements as evidenced in the class average of the 4 formative Edmodo assessments that came in at 87%. The task in my lesson also yielded appropriate understanding as evidenced by my observations of group discussions at various points, listening to the students articulate their responses to essential questions. Did the task involve a complex real-world application of the identified knowledge, skill, and understandings? I believe my lesson did a decent job involving performance tasks that call for a demonstration of knowledge, not just recall or recognition. For example, students demonstrated their knowledge by explaining similarities between the Battle of Shiloh in the West and the Battle of Antietam in the East. They demonstrated their knowledge by comparing these battles with D-Day, Pearl Harbor, and 9/11. And they also demonstrated their knowledge by reading a primary source on General Schwarzkopf's strategies of defeating Iraq and defeating them and comparing them with Grant's strategies of defeating the Confederacy. Were a variety of appropriate responses, appropriate assessment formats used to provide additional evidence of learning? And did the assessments and other activities give students the opportunity to self-assess and reflect upon their learning and performance? I believe my lesson did a good job incorporating a variety of assessments and activities that appeal to different types of learners at different points during the lesson to allow for immediate feedback and reflection. This was achieved by incorporating a variety of multimedia in the form of images, text, audio, and visuals at different points in the lesson to reinforce student learning and understanding. It was also achieved by incorporating a number of Edmodo quizzes at different points in the lesson to gauge student learning and understanding, which allowed for me to adjust the lesson based on their comprehension of the content. Incorporating a number of group activities and discussions to provide feedback and reflection on understanding was also accomplished. As a tool of differentiated learning, students engaged in research activities by finding authentic photos taken from battles and gathering an interest in fact related to each battle to develop a better appreciation of Grant's tactics and how they affected his targets. Students also used technology to create an animated map to develop a visual appreciation and understanding of Grant's strategies and achievements. What would I do differently next time? I thought the lesson went pretty well, but as with most lessons, I tend to overplan, and what I thought would only take 2 days ended up taking 3 days. This lesson could have been done in 2 days had I assigned the battle research activities as homework assignments, but the reason I didn't assign them for homework was because it involved students sharing their photos and facts that they gathered. This is an activity I believe is more effective to be conducted in the classroom, allowing for immediate feedback and reflection. To shorten the time span of the lesson, I would take a less is more approach next time around. I would eliminate some of the content and Edmodo questions because they weren't entirely relevant to the goals and objectives. Although well-intended, this likely caused incidental learning, adding to the cognitive load.